Hello there, everybody. This is Thavius Beck. In the following tutorial course, we're going to look at Bitwig 5 and take a big grand tour of the program, starting with the most basic basics, all the way up into the new features that have been recently included. There's a lot to like in this program, especially if your focus is on creative sound design and being empowered as a user. With that said, let's make sure that you can get up to speed so that you don't get overwhelmed by all the options that are available. The first place to start with the program before you even start looking at the GUI itself is the dashboard. When you first open Bitwig, you're typically greeted with the dashboard, which you can always get back to by hitting the Bitwig icon at the top of the screen. If I go into here, right now I'm looking in the packages area, and if you're looking for any sound content that comes with Bitwig, if it's not already included, you can look in the installed area to see everything that's been installed. Here you'll be able to install packages you don't already have or uninstall packages you don't currently want to use. I highly recommend before you do anything, make sure that you have all the necessary packages installed so you have some good stuff to play with. The other thing you'll probably want to do is go into the settings area, and here you can configure all the necessary things such as the overall scaling of the display, which we can change here. You can set up multiple display profiles. If you use two monitors, or like myself, I have an ultra wide monitor, the dual display profile can be really helpful if you want to see a mixer view on one screen and the arranger or clip launcher on the other. If you have a triple display, then you're doing it on a level that I just respect. And here's an option for you. So there you go. In terms of changing the overall theme, there's not themes in Bitwig necessarily, but you can adjust the midtones and black level to give yourself more or less eye strain. If we go into behavior here, there's certain things that you're going to want to be aware of. Bitwig is similar to Ableton Live in the sense that there is time stretching for all audio, and that happens in real time. So here in the behavior area, you can determine the default stretch mode when you drop in audio or when you record audio. If you have certain preferences, for instance, sometimes when I import long samples, such as a full song or a very, very long recording, I may not want that to be automatically stretched. If I need to change that, I can go here and maybe I change it to raw, which is one of the options that leaves the audio unstretched. We'll get into this a little bit more when we talk about audio files and audio clips. Going down into the audio area, obviously you can set up your audio interface. If you have an interface with multiple outputs and inputs, those will show up down here, or you can add additional outputs and inputs as necessary. It's quite nice. Let me just make sure. Oh yeah, for recording, you can enable recording quantization in a play menu, which we'll look at a little bit later. It's faded out here in the upper left corner, but you can also set this up in the settings. Some of you who want to record in real time, that might be really important. So just know that that's there. I have a MIDI controller currently set up. It's the Launchpad Pro Mark III. In Bitwig 5, there is a new MIDI remote script for the Launchpad Pro, which is really, really nice. So I have that configured here. If you're using a certain MIDI controller, you can configure it here. If it's not listed when you go to add controller, you see it says hardware vendor. All the controller, all the companies that are here, if you select one, you'll see supported controllers that already have a specific MIDI control script, which means that when you plug in the controller, things will just automatically work and be connected to Bitwig. So if you have a controller that's listed, you can choose that. If you don't, you can always just choose to use the generic controller. See if I click here. You can choose a generic controller. You can choose a keyboard that has 8 device knobs, so automatically map to the 8 remote controls on any device. You'll see that later. Or you can choose just a general MIDI keyboard. All right, so no matter your MIDI controller, you can use it, and that'll help you set it up. If you want things to be synchronized one way or the other in terms of MIDI clock, you can set that up here. For locations, I know all of this is, kind of basic, but it's very important. If you already have a sound library, let's say you have a bunch of samples and things you've chopped up, a bunch of recordings, you might want to access that inside of Bitwig's browsers. And the browsers have been updated a lot. So configuring this ahead of time will probably help you out. You can configure your own, sound content locations here. You can add a location, and then these will be searchable in your browser. You can also choose music locations. Typically, this is where I have things that are like full exports or longer songs. Sound content, I typically have things that are more like one-shot samples and loops. All right. So I recommend you set all that up there. Plugins, The approach to plugins in Bitwig is really nice because sometimes one plugin might crash and then the whole program crashes. In Bitwig, plugins can be hosted separately, so if one crashes, it doesn't take down the whole DAW. So if you want to set that up, you can do this here. And then there's tons of shortcuts you can enable, not just for your computer keyboard, but also for your MIDI controller. If you want a button to allow you to, let's say, save, you could assign that to a note on your keyboard if you want to. So these are amazing things that are unique to Bitwig already. So if you haven't, before you even get started, make sure you configure things to your liking in the dashboard.